Open your eyes, your mind, your heart. Let's have a school choice conversation. Open your eyes, your mind, your heart. Let's have a school choice conversation. Let's have a school choice conversation.
Hello and welcome to Choice Conversations. I'm Paul Dauphin. I am the Louisiana Director of Operations for the American Federation for Children. And I am thrilled to have join us on this episode, Brandy Williams. Hi, Brandy.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Brandy is the founder and head of school at Abba Healing Academy.
Yes.
Glad to have you with us. And Brandy, before we get into all the details about what Abba is and the mission and all that other good stuff, tell me about you. How did we get to from just the real short story though? How did we get from Brandy, the young career person, to founding a school?
So you mean you don't want me to tell you that I like long walks on the beach and walking barefoot in the snow? I'm kidding.
Hey, in the snow.
I'm kidding. How did we get here? So this is year 22 in education for me. I started out very early in my education career as a high school student teaching summer bridge classes. So I fell in love with education very early on. And left Louisiana. I'm a native New Orleanian, Hail 35, choice, not an echo. So I knew that education could be special if it were done correctly. For me, when I came back to the city after Hurricane Katrina, education was missing some things. My son attempted suicide in the bathroom of his school. It was a very hard underpinning to handle as a parent and then also as an educator. Pulling back the layers, trying to find out what was happening. Ultimately, we learned he wasn't being serviced under the exceptionality of gifted and talented, nor the exceptionality of having a learning disability that is dyscalculia. Having a background in special education, that did not sit well with me. And so started the wheels turning, began the idea for a school in 2015, worked on this with a board, piloted the model with students in the New Orleans Metroplex, both in Orleans and Jefferson parishes, had focus groups with parents to decide on model specific things, uniforms, policies for culture, etc., and just decided to pull the lever back and say go. And so, we attempted to do charter. We were rejected twice. I still hold that it was through no fault of our own. And I welcome anyone who would like to read our application to do so, because I stand behind that work, definitely and definitively. But I got tired of more or less playing politics and seeing the same kinds of schools being redrawn and recreated over and over again. Went to Drexel Fund. And it was with the help of Drexel Fund that I will now be opening Abba Healing Academy in August of 2022.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we met the other day for the first time. And one of my first questions was, and I guess before I ask you this question, people are probably wondering, well, where's Abba going to be, since it's opening in 2022 and people hear about a new school, they want to go to that new school. So you're going to be in Algiers.
Yes, I am. I'm on the West Bank. And before anybody crucifies me, I'm an East Bank girl, but the building was so hard to pass up. And so we're located at 4650 General de Gaulle. We will probably have suites 104, 100, and 102 now that has become available. So it's the entire bottom level of the building where we are.
Great. And the question I had for you was, the thing when I first heard about Abba Healing Academy, I said, boy, that's an interesting name. Tell us about that.
So Abba is actually a school that is the first of its kind in the United States. We are literally the only school that is recognized and certified, but also unrecognized and certified, or uncertified. We're the only school that teaches what's called candomblé. Candomblé is a practice of African traditional religion, as well as Catholicism. And so I am both a practicing Catholic as well as a practicing African traditional religionist. What we teach at Abba is very simple. We teach a foundation of respect for life and dignity. We teach a foundation of love for yourself and for your kind. We teach a community love and lifestyle. And then we work on exploration and identity of self. And so Abba is the word, as most of you will know, for father, but it is also in the Yoruban culture, the word for a new beginning. And so this school is a new beginning for a lot of our students and families. It's not the traditional brick and mortar school. It is faith-based. We do have religion classes, and students are physically learning how they interact with every component of the universe. One of our cornerstones is every student receives a personalized learning plan. Again, my background is in special education, and so PLPs, personalized learning plans, will surface with already identified IEPs and 504 plans. And so it's an additional level of support. We do offer as a school special education services, which many schools do not. We're only one of 3 in Orleans Parish that's a private school to do that. We can take scholarships. So if you are scholarship eligible, please come and join our fold. We're starting with grades PK3 through grade 1 in our first year, and we'll grow by a year or 2 every year thereafter. But again, just the cornerstone for us is making sure that children have representation and that they feel celebrated for their unique gifts. Also, that they're able to learn about their culture and what people who look like them in years past have been able to do. It lives on in our blood, and so we're just giving back to what our ancestors have put us here to do.
So you've talked about, I guess, some of the unique features of Abba. What do you think? You've been talking to parents already as
Yes.
you're getting ready to open. What are they telling you they like, and what kind of feedback are you getting? Like, maybe I should be doing this also. What's the vibe from the parents?
Parents are actually really excited. One of the things that's really amazing for us, I have a background and a terminal degree in curriculum and instruction. And so the way that we layer our school units academically with social emotional learning has been critical for a lot of parents. Literally every unit in our school, in every class, has a social emotional component. So we don't just speak about, oh, we do social emotional learning as an addendum or 15-minute time outside of what we're doing. We're physically doing social emotional learning every day. We have community morning circles where students come together, meet as a community, learn about the value for that day, celebrate each other and welcome each other, or in the moments where we need to uplift each other. And then we have exiting circle at the end of the day where students hold each other accountable. That's the second thing where parents are very excited. Hearing your 3-year-old, right, have a conversation and say, I felt happy because my friend XYZ helped me to write my letters is a very important conversation. It's also a way that we practice social emotional learning to call out the things that make us feel good as well as the things that make us hurt sometimes. And then we think of ways together to fix issues or to highlight things that we want to see more. Something that parents would like to know more that we don't say at first is that we do have transportation. That's another really amazing thing that parents are excited about because we can pull students from all over the city. I don't think we've had too many parents that expressed concerns, but there's always a parent who just wants to know more about ATR and what African traditional religion really is. And sometimes they want to see what that's like. And so for those parents who are interested, I host Tuesday and Thursday classes where I teach adult learners African traditional religion. And I've always encouraged and invited those parents to come into those classes as well.
I was reading your some of your material for the school, and one of the things it said was that you're going to be able to increase academic readiness by 2.5 grade levels per year. And that's something that so many schools have such a difficult time achieving. So, basically, why can you say you're going to do that? Do you have a secret sauce there, or?
I absolutely have a secret sauce. First and foremost, I'm not just saying this and pulling it out of the air. We've been running pilots of this model since 2015. We've been evaluated on this model since 2015. And so as the nonprofit that we function through is Generation Success. Generation Success is a member of the New Orleans Youth Alliance. They've served as a third-party evaluator for our programming. We've also been evaluated by 4.0 schools, and we've been evaluated in the past by New Schools for New Orleans, as well as the New School Venture Fund. One of the things that we do, we use benchmarks that are created by third-party individuals. So we have the Gates-McGinty test, which is a national normed reference diagnostic. We also use Edmentum benchmarking and ANET benchmarking. What we're doing with those tests is literally looking at students' baseline data. We take the test mid-year in our programming, and then we take it again at the end of the year. And on average, students are growing by 2.5 grade level years in 1 year. That's traditionally in math and in ELAR, so English, Language Arts, and Reading. What people don't also know about that is that we've largely based our entire population on special education students. So this is not just happening with a general ed student or a gifted and talented student, which we also serve. This is happening with all of our students. 100% of our students grow academically, and 100% of our students grow social-emotionally. And we do have an emotional regulation behavioral scale for adolescents that we also administer 3 times in the year to not only attest for the things that we're doing in the school and in the programming, but to attest to the students, their growth and their learning. We teach them how to track their learning. We teach them how to be invested in themselves more than anything, because we're building on passions and focusing on strengths instead of focusing on remediation, which is a thing that most schools do and get wrong.
Well, one of the great things whenever a school comes to a neighborhood, a community, is they become a community anchor. So
Yes.
I would imagine you are building that relationship with the Algiers community. And for people who are watching this and they're outside of New Orleans, Algiers is a subset of the city of New Orleans. And we're on the, and I say we because I also live on the west bank of the river. We're across from downtown New Orleans. And there is a hesitancy for people to cross the river to go from one side to the other. But you're in Algiers, so in a sense, I would imagine you're going to be serving that community, even though you can take students from all over.
Absolutely. So we've already started a lot of those processes. And yes, we absolutely intend to be a community hub. We do have before and after care. So for those parents who work, we have opportunities for their students to be in our care from 7:30 to 6:30 every day. Secondarily to that, our parents are always welcome to stop into our school, as our administrative offices are outside of the school building. So there's a spot for parents, like a resource center as such, to come in and use the computers to get help with their resume, to get help with cover letters, job interviewing, to learn coding skills, to learn how to use computers, etc. Because we have what's called a parent university. And unlike a lot of schools that you see, Paul, and a lot of schools that you've probably heard about, we do way more than having parents come in for like open house and report card conferences. Our parents physically sit on our board. We have students that sit on our nonprofit board. And so we're really committed to having community voice within our organization. One of the things that we've already done, we had a trunk or treat during Thanksgiving, good grief. Can you tell that that's my favorite holiday? We've had a trunk or treat during Halloween, and we were one of the only organizations to do so on that side of the river at the time that we did it. We physically did it on Halloween. And if you didn't come, oh man, you missed out. We had the good candy. I'm talking full-size Twix bars, full-size packs of Skittles and Snickers, etc., because we wanted to take care of our families. All of the things that we buy for the most part comes from grocery stores within the community. Our gift baskets come from like Copper Vibrations, as we just did an education event for Black educators in the city. We did a celebration for them, a catered food, catered drinks. Our students served them, and all of our gift bags were bought and purchased with items that were within the community. And so we tried, Copper Bamboo is the store. It's also on the West Bank, about 5 minutes away from the school. We had some copper bamboo scarves that we gave away in those gift bags to educators in the city. And so that's definitely a part of our model, and it's definitely a part of who we've always been.
Great. And I'll close it out on this. Get your perspective, because you're in a special category. You are a Black person, a Black woman and founder of a school. What are your feelings, your thoughts on being a founder?
Oh man. First and foremost, this is absolutely 1000% a labor of love. The work that I am doing is lonely work and hard work, oftentimes because it never stops. During the pandemic, the nonprofit that I'm the CEO for, we literally did parent driving to food locations to pick up food. We drove parents to pick up laptops. We gave out laptops to some of our students and families who didn't have them. We have been a liaison between the RTA system, Regional Transit Authority, and our parents to ensure that New Orleans East was represented with bus stops during the pandemic. During Hurricane Ida, we did Hurricane Ida relief for some of our families and put them into actual Airbnbs for a month to ensure that they had safe living quarters. We gave donations to parents of $100 or $150 or $50 for some of the parents who didn't need as much to ensure that they could get supplies in an emergency. And so just for me, being a person of color, community matters the most, right? And I say that a lot, but I need people to understand that that is definitively who I am and definitively what my organizations represent. Second to that, I know how lonely it can be as a person of color looking for resources. As a school founder, I've largely had to teach myself many things that I've never had access to. I didn't grow up in a family that had access to financial literacy. I didn't grow up in a family that understood strategic thinking and planning. We were in survival mode for 95% of my childhood and teenage years. And so it's important to me to be able to give some of those lessons back to families now. I'm definitely a person who believes that I've been blessed and gifted with opportunities. And I know that genius is unequivocally spread, but opportunity isn't. And so one of the organizations that I've been a part of taught me a long time ago, and that's Camelback Ventures. They taught me literally to take care of my family and take care of my community. And so that's what we're going to do. Drexel Fund has been amazing with ensuring that we have the resources that we need. But again, that's not a common thing. As a Black school founder, fundraising is probably the hardest thing you can possibly do. And so as much as we can raise funds, as much as we can get into the community and have like $2, $3, $4, $5 from local families or local people, that happens to build up our coffers a lot, and it goes a very long way. And lastly, I think being Black, especially in this city, you learn how to be thrifty. You learn how to do more with less. And so that's been some of the key things that I've learned. It's not all positive. It's not all peaches and cream, but I don't complain about anything because it ain't going to do you any good anyway. So you take the deck that you have and the hand that you've been dealt, and you do the best you can with it. And at the end of the day, know that you can look yourself in the mirror and be proud. So that's it. That's what I can tell you about being a Black founder.
That's a wonderful perspective. And before we say goodbye, I'm going to remind especially people who are interested in applying for a scholarship through Louisiana Scholarship Program. The deadline to apply is January 21st. So,
please apply. Please apply. If you are on One App, we are the first school on One App. There is a little box on that page. Check the box. If you don't check the box, you will never get the option to see this school. And that would be such a shame because I promise you, you want to send your children here. Your children will be loved on just like I love on my own kids. And your children will be set up for a future that not only gives them opportunities to go to college that we pay for, because we do pay for our students and the nonprofit to do that. They also get the opportunity for internships, which many of our students that are in high school and our nonprofit also do. So all the same things that we've been able to do for years in this community, we will continue and do them a little bit better now that we have our own school.
Brandy, on that, I want to say thank you and best of luck with forming this school, the founding. I'm sure you're enjoying it and you can't wait until August, right?
I am chomping at the bits. I'm so in love with this school and the community. Thank you so much, Paul, for this opportunity. And thank you to the Louisiana Federation for Children for all that you do. It's because of your work that schools like mine are able to flourish.
Thank you.
Open your eyes, your mind, your heart. Let's have a school choice conversation. Open your eyes, your mind, your heart. Let's have a school choice conversation.